I recently read this Nigerian crime novel. It's titled Easy Motion Tourist by Leye Adenle. I cannot wait to share my thoughts on it with you guys, so let's get into it. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Rachel here. Hit that subscribe button so that you never miss a thing. You can also like this video so that it is referred to other viewers as well. As I said, I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on this book. It's titled Easy Motion Tourist by Leye Adenle. Leye Adenle is a Nigerian author and he's the author of Easy Motion Tourist and When Trouble Sleeps. I'm going to read out the synopsis of the book as contained at the back of the book. Guy Collins, a British hack, is hunting for an election story in Lagos. A decision to check out a local bar in Victoria Island turns out badly. A mutilated female body is discarded close by and Collins is picked up as a suspect. In the murk of a hot, groaning and bloody police station cell, Collins fears the worst. But then Amaka, a sassy guardian angel of Lagos working girls, talks the police station chief around. She assumes Collins is a BBC journal who can broadcast details of the city's witchcraft and body parts trade that she's on a one-woman mission to stop. With Easy Motion Tourists as an astonishing cast, Tarantino has landed in Lagos. This page-turning debut crime novel pulses with the rhythm of Nigeria's mega city, reeks of its open drains and sparkles like the champagne quaffed in its upmarket districts. So as the book says, it's basically about, a guy who comes into Nigeria. I think whether he feels like he has to take on this assignment. He's a journalist, right? But oh well, maybe a sort of journalist. He doesn't work with the BBC. And then he comes into Nigeria trying to prove a point to his ex-girlfriend that, okay, yes, he can travel all around, blah, blah, blah. And then at the end of the day, he ends up in this thing that happens where somebody is killed, like a prostitute is killed and her body is dumped in the gutter, and he's sort of thrust into this world where he's also picked up as a suspect. There's a lot of things that go on in exposing the ritual murders and the people who cut off people's body parts for rituals. Like there's this huge industry or trade that goes on behind it, and Amaka is on her way to try and stop that, and there's just a lot that goes on in the book. But I really like the plot because it was, to me anyways, it was fast-paced. The major thing about the book that leads into other series of events happened within the first couple of chapters. Thank goodness for that. So it wasn't like as if you have to read on so many pages before you knew what was going on. So I like the fact that the plot was fast-paced. It was arranged. It had some action parts, like where you were sort of left on the edge of your seat. It was almost like a movie, and you were sort of just thrust into this crime scene and thinking up things and whatnot. So I'm glad that there was a build-up, there was a climax, there was a resolution at the end. I like the fact that the end also sort of left me wanting for more. I think that it came together as a beautiful crime novel, and I actually enjoyed the action in the final scenes of the book. Like, it was actually really nice. I could imagine it being a movie. The book is set in Lagos, Nigeria, and it goes between the mainland and the island of Lagos. And so you see places like Victoria Island, you see places like Surulere, which I think that the author did a good job in depicting. Now to the characterization of this book. I like the characterization actually. I think that there were quite interesting characters. Guy Collins was an interesting character, even if I couldn't really connect with him. Amaka was a very strong and powerful character. I love the fact that she was everything in one basically, and she was like this power woman who was on a one-woman mission to stop crime and violence and things that were being done to prostitutes. And in the book you get to understand why she undertook this course in her life, especially being that the work that she does, not like as if she's really being paid for it. She sort of established or co-founded an NGO which gets into this and helps these girls, not necessarily off the street, but just helps them until they're able to establish better lives for themselves. So it doesn't preach to them, oh, stop engaging in prostitution. It just helps them out to be able to find their feet until they're well established. So she did a great job. I liked her character. She was easily likable and things like that. I think that generally with the characterization, it was fair. But for me, I felt like there were a lot of characters, and at some point it kind of got a little bit overwhelming for me, because I was trying to, I just felt like there were some people who really we could have done without, like done without in the sense of emphasizing their characters. I feel like some Knockouts, Catch Fire, all those people, like I just feel like there was so much. If the book was going to be centered on Guy and Amaka, but other characters would sort of influence their journey in this crime novel and action. I just feel like the minor characters didn't really need to have been pronounced too much, because they sort of got me confused, to be honest. I don't really like to read books that have too many characters, that their characters are trying to be developed. I want it to be clear that these are the major characters and then these are the minor characters. So, but other than that, I think that the author did a fantastic job with developing Amaka's character and developing Guy Collins' character. But I mean, between the two of them, I'll probably say that the book was mostly, Amaka was mostly the main protagonist of the book, even if the synopsis sort of makes it look like as if the story was about Guy Collins. But I think that she was really the central focus of this book, and he did a good job in establishing her character in the book. On the writing style, I really appreciated the writing style too. I must obviously commend the author for that. It was simple and it was easy. I read this book in like 3 days. Like, it was really, it's quite lengthy because the prints are small and whatever. You know, when I say something is short, you guys will say no, it's not. But I mean, the fact that the English was easy to comprehend, the book flowed, it made it easier to just get into the action and the nitty-gritty of what was going on. And I really appreciate books like that, that the English is not too big and laborious, and then at the end of the day you're trying to crack what's going on here and what's going on there, and it takes you out of the plot, almost like as if you're not watching a movie or you're not a fly on the wall. I really appreciate books like that, and I think that the author did a good job on that. The only issue that I had with the writing style was that the book was written in first-person narrative and third-person narrative, right? The first-person narrative was written from Guy Collins' perspective, and the third-person narrative was following Amaka's own journey. I love the way he arranged the chapters in a sort of interplay, that maybe chapter 1 is on Guy Collins, chapter 2 is on Amaka, chapter 3 is Guy Collins, chapter 4 is on Amaka. So I liked that interplay in what was going on. And then at the end of the day, there was this huge culmination at the end where both characters met in like a grand finale. Like, they had known each other, but I mean, their separate journeys sort of met in a grand finale of the climax, and then there was the resolution. I didn't really like the fact that I felt like maybe the book could have been written purely in first-person narrative, Guy's part, Amaka's part, and then at the title of the chapters, you know, when you're about to start a chapter, you can have their name there so that we know who it is. Fine, even if you don't put the name there. I felt like the stories could have been arranged, because I found that what was happening was sometimes Guy, in a chapter, Guy would be telling his story, and then there's like another scene that comes after that Guy is not involved in, and then it's told in the third-person narrative. And I'm like, why can't the whole chapter be first-person narrative on Guy? If you want to do another scene that involves somebody else, do it in another chapter. So that was the only thing that I had, just the arrangement of the way it was, because it's not really easy to pull off a book that is first-person narrative and third-person narrative. And I know that Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen, they do that a lot in their psychological thriller. They have first-person narrative, and then the other major protagonist or major protagonists are written in third-person narrative, and it's not really easy to pull it off. But this book, I think that the author actually did a good job in pulling it off. I would have just liked if the chapters were a little bit more arranged, but other than that, I enjoyed it because it was easy to read and I could focus on the action and the crime in itself. I was actually satisfied with the ending. I didn't mind. I was happy that it was good. There was a sort of cliffhanger at the end which made you for sure know that there was going to be a sequel to the book, which is something that I'm currently reading. It's called When Trouble Sleeps, and I'll let you guys know how that goes on it. I didn't have any issues with the ending. I thought it was lovely, and I'm eager to read the second part to see how it ends. I wonder if there'll be a third part or whatever. I mean, you rarely see series that go on to 7 parts in Nigeria, and this is such a nice genre like crime, and so I'm interested in seeing how this book would eventually develop, how these characters would eventually develop. So all in all, I think that the author did a really good job on this book, and my verdict for this book will be a strong 8.5 over 10 because I enjoyed it and I thought that it had a nice element of action and crime and all of that in it. So if you're looking for that kind of book to read, something that is a little bit fast-paced, if you're not a fan of crime novels, this is one that it's not even like as if you would even feel like as if you're some detective or whatever trying to rack your brain or anything. It's an entertaining read, but it's just in the crime fictional genre. So if it's something that you want to try, you can definitely pick it up. If you've read it, let me know. If you have not but you want to read it, also let me know as well. I got my copy from Roving Heights in Nigeria, so if you're in Nigeria, you can pick up a copy from them. I want to assume that the book is on Amazon because it's been out for a while. It was published in 2016, so if you're looking for something of this nature, then this is a book for you to definitely pick up. Thank you guys so much for watching this book review, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.